The sport of MMA, the sport of combat in general, has become mainstream. I mean, it is taken over. The UFC has really paved the way for sports like Muay Thai and sports like K1 kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, grappling. I mean, you name it. If you're a fan, there's a place that you can watch it. Women's MMA has come to the highest of level. A friend of mine that I met a few years ago, his dream was to become a fighter. He loved the sport, had a great story, extremely smart guy, became one of my best friends. Drew, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really good, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing well, buddy. I'm so glad to have you on. And listen, I want to get right to the point here. You are someone that has overcome the odds over and over, and the reason you have is because of passion, desire, and there's no quit. That's why you've succeeded and are continuing to succeed. A real quick story that I can tell about Drew. This is a young man that grew up in adverse conditions, had not necessarily in poverty, but he experienced a whole lot of things, decided he was going to go to New York to train at Renzo Gracie's to pursue his career, his dream in fighting. He did that without money in his pocket. Here we are a couple years later, and look at you. Now, look how far you've come. You know, can you give me a little bit of background, Drew, on growing up and then the decision to come to New York and what you've done, what you've overcome to get here?
Like you were saying before, adverse conditions and stuff like that. I don't want to paint a sad story so much, but I had a different upbringing. My mom is South American. She's from a small country named Guyana, also known as British Guiana, before they gained independence. So, I lived about half of my life there, going through like elementary school into high school, graduating, having a few years of working experience as well. Pretty interesting stuff. But it was different to grow up there, and it was really, really humbling to be in that type of society. Whereas had I stayed in the States with my parents, it probably would have been a different type of childhood for me.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for everything that's happened thus far. I think it's why I'm here today, and I can't complain.
Definitely not. Now, you made it to Renzo's, and you had to deal with the reality that New York is the most expensive city to live in. You came there, and you had to figure out what you were going to do. You went periods without being able to train because you had to live life. And you're such a cerebral guy, very intelligent, that even though you had time off and out of the gym, and I had told you, I think you improved. I think you mentally understood things better. I think you, by overcoming some of the things you've had to in your life, I think that has shaped the character of the man that I really do respect, and I got to say is an inspiration to me. When I start having trouble, I have a hard time feeling sorry for myself when I think about what you've done in your life at such a young age. Now you're competing, you're training at Renzo's with all the beasts over there, and you're competing in tournaments. You're doing pretty damn good in these tournaments. And you have a goal of fighting in mixed martial arts. Let me ask you, what do you see, the next 5 years look like for you?
So this year, 2017, I have full intentions to start my MMA career, starting out with amateur MMA, of course, not having any kind of record here in the States. So I'm just going to see where it goes, man. I mean, I love this stuff. I love jiu-jitsu. I love striking. I love MMA. I just love martial arts. Growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. my parents never really, I appreciate them that they never really pushed me into a direction. Okay, do what we do, which was, missionary and church stuff.
Right.
Where I always had like a different kind of calling. I was always into boxing from a young age. Like even in Guyana, they used to show it on TV, all the big fights. The Tyson and Holyfield, Andrew Galata, Riddick Bowe. Like I saw all of those fights like live, and I just from a young age I was clinging to it. I was trying to mimic boxing movement and stuff like that. And as we fast forward, I started to take note of, okay, now there's this thing called the UFC, and it's everything goes, and it's MMA, and et cetera, et cetera. You start to find out about all this. It's like, wow, like that's a real life situation. If two guys are going to go at it and have every tool in their arsenal to take the other guy out, you can grab, you can throw, you can submit, you can choke, you can punch, you can kick, you can knee. So I'm still, this, I'm still a huge fan of boxing. I don't follow all the fighters like I used to, but I'm definitely always going to be that's my first love was boxing, which, developed into MMA later on. And right now it's just I'm going to go ahead with positive thoughts and just get better.
Listen,
every day in training.
Drew, this is the thing for me. And I look at you and I know, and listen, I'm 49 years old and I've been around the fight game a long, long time. You're a fighter. This is, and it's not a fighter like the guy that is in trouble in his life and fighting his way out to stay out of trouble and to have a career. You're extremely intelligent and very cerebral, but you have this in you from a young kid, that competition, that want to compete, the want to be the best. And that's something that has taken you where you're at now, is the inability to accept defeat, the inability to quit. You just don't have it in you. And dare I say, that is what champions are made of, right there. And, I know that I want to have a role in your career and helping you and sponsoring you and trying to bring on the sponsors before you blow up and then everybody wants to get a piece. I want to be able to give them the opportunity now to meet, Andrew Hooper, and learn about him. Listen, we don't have the 2-hour interviews to go through your entire life, but I will tell you this. With what you have achieved in the last couple years, and this has nothing to do with being my friend. This is looking at you as a fighter. You are a dangerous, dangerous man, because for 145, you're a beast. You're giant. You have gorilla strength. Even at 155, that's a great weight for you. The future for you is only limited by your mental, problems, and you don't have those. You don't have those mental, things that hold you back, because you've had to overcome so many things that you can achieve it. There's no doubt about it. Now you're training with guys like George St. Pierre. Well, not training with him, but he's in the gym. You've spoken, you've watched him, you've felt that aura, that energy in the gym. How does that really, is that motivation to see guys like that in there?
Yeah, of course. You see guys like George and other big names from the UFC and Bellator and WSOF, David Branch, Liam McGeary, you get to see these guys train and see the hard work they put in. It only lets you see how much you need to do, how hard you need to work, to see them and then look up to them as, seniors in the room. Like it's an honor, I don't really train with those guys. They're pretty big. And George comes through and he trains usually with the Danaher Death Squad.
Yeah.
But just to be in the same room and learn and train and see these guys and have the opportunity, it's really, really a blessing.
Well, I know you. So you're absorbing every single thing that's going on in there like a sponge. You're like the guy that they got a kick out of the gym. I know this. And you think fighting all the time. You're a student of the game. You love boxing. You love combat in general. You're a mixed martial artist. You are one of the new breed that is an extremely well-rounded fighter. The difference is you've had to work for everything you've got, my friend. As young as you are, you have had to work for everything. And you, like a lot of people don't do, you left your comfort zone. You left it. And you went for it. And the key to that is you're not afraid to fail. You're not afraid to be told no. And what that makes you is someone that learns to win. You become a winner because you refuse to accept anything else. You refuse to lose or to give up or to not keep moving forward. And you've always kept going forward. Now your career is right at the precipice where we're going to be seeing, Drew Hooper in 2017. And I'm excited about it. And I want people to get the opportunity to get to know you, Drew, and understand something, that this game, this sport, you're the future of the sport. The up-and-coming guys are the future of this sport. And if we don't support the up-and-coming guys, the next John Jones, we will never have a future for this sport. And I get really frustrated when you see everything going to the guys that are established that really don't need it, and then the young guys are struggling. It's really expensive to train over at Renzo Gracie's, and hey, it's probably one of the best gyms, if not the best, in the world. And you've done it.
I think a part of the fighter's life, people would say, it's always a struggle. Guys don't get paid what they're worth, and it's sad, but at the same time, we kind of choose this life. We have that calling and that drawing to it, and that addiction almost, but at the same time, it's like we choose this, and I find that it kind of goes hand in hand. To go through an easy lifestyle, like maybe you're not going to have that same kind of drive, maybe you're not going to have that same hunger to get better, or maybe you are. I think everyone's their own individual, and everyone's different, but for me, everything that I've sacrificed, everything that I probably could have been doing for money, the amount of hours I try to put in with training that I could be working like a normal 9-to-5 job or something, like I'd be pretty set. But I'm gaining something more valuable than money, which is knowledge and experience, and I'm cherishing and loving every moment, even the painful parts of it, the days where you leave thinking, man, like, I'm terrible, I suck at this, why do I even do this? And then there's those times when you have those great moments where you have a breakthrough or an epiphany, or you win a tournament or whatever it is. Like, those are the moments that kind of lift you up a little bit just to get you going, because you're going to run into another stop in the road and another one, and you just got to keep knocking down every single one until you get to where you want to go.
Well, the beauty of it is when you have a passion like you do, to see you continue to come up and up and up, it's really exciting. I want to be part of it, right? I want to be part of this experience. I can't wait to watch you compete in the cage. I really am excited for you with the tournaments. You've done really well. You have surrounded yourself with winners. You've surrounded yourself with like-minded people, and it's really paid off. Big things in the future coming for you, Drew, and I really am excited. I'm honored to be able to be a part and to help you achieve this, because that's what I do. I'm 49 years old. I don't get to live those dreams that you're living, so I'm kind of living through you. And as a friend, as someone that I have love for and I consider a brother, I want to tell you thank you so much for coming on. This is the first of a few, Drew, because I kind of want to do a show with you, brother. You know the sport. You're intelligent. You speak well. It only makes sense to me. And I'm looking forward to that, too. Any shout-outs other than to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu?
I mean, of course, Hansel Gracie, my family, they make every single day. Being in this cold New York weather right now, it's pretty freezing, and today's not bad. But like you said, I'm only here for that school, and I just want to thank those guys for just being there every day, pushing me, and making me a better person. My family, of course, my friends. There's just a lot of people.
Yeah.
To like break it down would be a little bit too much. But I'm just thankful in general to you, of course. Thank you, Dan. You've been a brother to me. You've been very supportive, and you've helped me along this journey through the good and the bad. So I'm very honored to know you, and I'm very appreciative of you. And I consider you a brother. So thank you very much.
I got to tell you, man, that means more to me than you'll ever know. It really, really does, because I can go without speaking with you for months and months, and that connection, it just is always there. You are my brother, man. Even though I'm old enough to be your father, so hey, we'll have to put the gloves on one of these times, and you can take that 12-pack abs you got, and let this old man put a smacking on you. Just no grappling, no taking me down.
I won't underestimate that check left hook.
There you go. You know me well. Listen, Drew, it's my honor to have you on. This is a guy right now, guys, I want to let everyone know out there for sponsors. If you want to get on board and you want to sponsor a winner before you've got to pay championship fees, this is the band you want to get on this train. So reach out to me, Dan Cox, MMA @gmail. I will direct you and help you do that. Let's support these up-and-coming fighters, especially the future champs. Drew Hooper, this is a future champ, and I believe that with all my heart. So again, thank you so much, Drew. For Fight TV, for Modern Pugilist Entertainment, I'm Dan Cox. This is Drew Hooper, the next champ. Keep your eyes open for him. You're going to get to know him well.